everyone. We are really happy to welcome you today for our new webinar dedicated to SAP S4HANA. The topic of today is why SAP S4HANA is an intelligent ERP. What a questions. Today we've got two amazing speakers that I will present to you in a few minutes. But let's start with a few informations to make the most of this webinar. This is a 60-minute webinar, 45 minutes presentations, 15 minutes for questions. Don't forget that this webinar is made for you. So please ask our experts all your questions in the chat. I will ask them for you in the Q&A sessions, or we will answer you directly in the chat. Okay, please use also Google Chrome. It will be much more easier for you to make the most of these presentations. Sounds, no technical issues, whatever, Google Chrome. If it's not the case, switch off. Go in Google Chrome, refresh, and welcome back. Just two tips to exchange with us. You've got a chat in front of, on the live storm, top right of your screen, chat. In this chat, you can interact with us, ask all your questions, say hello. Don't be shy, okay? This is made for you. And we prepare also a short poll, okay? A short survey for you to 3 simple questions to also prepare topics for our next webinars and to know more about your challenges. I just give you one information before we start. This is a pre-recorded webinar. We recorded it a few hours ago just to avoid any technical issues. This is why we are in the chat with you, talking, exchanging, answering your questions, okay? And we will be live for the Q&A sessions, come back on the tools with you. Voila. So, Thomas, Rob, welcome, hello. Two extraordinary, amazing speakers for these sessions. Let us know, who are you? Thomas, why are you the expert on this topic?
Thanks, Pierre, for a nice intro. So, hi everyone, my name is Thomas Sirtas. Well, I've been busy with SAP technology and solutions for 23 years now. At SOA People, I'm the Group Innovation Director. So in that role, I help customers to go to new solutions. And of course, S4HANA and intelligent technologies are the most important ones. Apart from that, I'm an SAP mentor, distinguished engineer, and well, some maybe you know me from being active in the PNSG.
Okay, thank you, Thomas, for these introductions. Indeed, you got, we are with the right persons from the SOA People side, but we are really lucky today because we are not alone. We are with our main partner, SAP. Hello, Rob. Let us know why you're here and why you're the expert on this topic.
Bonjour, Pierre and Thomas. Thank you for inviting me. Yes, so I'm like actually also Thomas, too many years in the SAP world, but now I'm actually a digital core solution advisor, advising on a daily basis customers like yourself why they should transition to S4HANA. But what I'm in fact an SAP S4HANA enthusiast, and that is something what I would like to show you today. So, talking about today, what is our agenda? So let us talk about ERP in the future. How actually Intense, which is infused in S4HANA, how that could help you become a more insightful in organization. And then I think that's really crucial as well. How do you get started? And then we open up the floor so that you really can ask your questions and we are here to answer them.
Super. So, dear participants, I leave you with those two amazing experts. I come back with you for the Q&A session. Just enjoy and see you in 45 minutes.
All right. So let's kick it off. So before we start, let's give you a bit of a context. So let's talk about digitalization today. So I think we can all agree that a lot of things has impacted our life. Let's talk about technology and speed, for instance. And you have your big data, you have your IoT, artificial intelligence. You see the things, what's happening on your smartphone. Well, it's drastically changed compared to 20 years ago. So, but it's also has impacted the way that we behave as a consumer. And we want everything real time. We want everything now. It needs to be connected. We don't expect any delays. And then if you talk about from a business perspective, processes and business models change every day. It's not no longer like the lot size of many, it's the lot size of one. It's about servitization. So that is something where a lot of organizations have to deal with. So these kind of complexities offer actually quite a lot of challenges. And so, for instance, from operational point of view, and the processes are much more complex to manage. And don't think about the cost pressure which comes along with it. And from a strategic point of view, and so how you have to deal with these new business models, and it's causing quite a lot of industry disruption. And you also have the green line to consider. The sustainability is really on the market. And then from IT perspective, you need to think, okay, how I'm going to manage this? Do I need to manage this in on-premise? Do I need to go in the cloud? How to deal with all this integration? I have this custom code, this data architecture. So you need to think about this to really survive in the current digital economy. So luckily there is an answer. And the answer is S/4HANA. The modern ERP suite driving operational excellence and business model innovation to help customers as yourself to turn actually into an intelligent enterprise. So why is that? First of all, because of the scope. And we have the broadest ERP scope active in 25 industries like yourself. And we can offer it in a modern modular cloud way. So then we talk about process integration, deeply integrated end to end. So not within the four walls of your organization, but also really extending within your business network. Then thirdly, that's user experience. I think we can really be proud of the intuitive user experience, which is infused with a lot of technologies so that actually processes are optimized and automated. Then we want to empower you and your employees with really insightful information so that you have your insight to action so that they can actually make decisions for your organization. And finally, from an IT perspective and from an operation and security, we can offer a modular hybrid approach that take you to the cloud at your own pace with an incredible SLA of 99.9 cloud uptime. So we've been talking about S4 and it's been drastically changed. So what's SAP's vision towards this, or towards business transformation? Well, I want you to look at your current world. And in your current world, I'm sure that you see yourself have a lot of attention and focus on operational activities. I need to get orders in. I need to get the data out of the system. And you're only supported with limited insights. So really more list pages of activities which you have been doing so far. So luckily you can benefit from SAP S/4HANA, where all these processes are infused with automation, so that actually the focus on operation is lowered down and you're supported with much more real-time insights, really insights to take action. And at the same time, we can offer also the predictive insight so that you can really add actually value to your organization. You could see what's going to happen into the future. So your focus is now on exceptions. You have KPIs to really optimize your organization and to work against. And you have the insights, the predictive insight to see what's going to happen in the future. So to summarize, we want to reduce the repetitive task by automation so that you can add a really high value contribution to your organization. So we've been talking a lot, so now it's a bit time to show you a bit what am I talking about. So Thomas, perhaps you can take over and show us what, for instance, machine learning could do for an organization like yourself.
Yeah, indeed, let's do that. So what we will do in this chapter, we will go through a couple of really interesting technologies. We will have an explanation. Rob and I together, we will explain you different technologies, and we will also show you short videos because we could talk about a lot of details, but we believe that it's very nice to actually really get an impression of the things really working. All what we show is in S4. So let's get started. Before we go to the individual solutions, we would like to go over give an overview of all the technologies which we will cover in this chapter. So first, we will talk about machine learning and how machine learning can help you optimize your processes. Then we will talk about situation handling. I'm not sure if you heard of this. This is one of my favorites, which is default available in S4. And the situation handling helps you to notice things which are out of the standard, out of the normal, and advises you to act upon it and make decisions. Robotic process automation is also very interesting. It's a solution where repetitive, maybe less exciting tasks can be automated so that the users gain efficiency. Chatbots, I think many of us already know chatbot, at least from our private life, but now this is also available as part of the SAP portfolio to use it for business use in interaction with S4. And then finally, IoT, Internet of Things, which is how we connect to actual physical devices and gather data and then make decisions, better decisions based on this data. All right, so let me get started and start with the first one, which is machine learning. So to me, machine learning is a technology which is obviously very advanced, and we could talk about a lot of technical details, which at some point probably goes beyond this webinar. So I would like to keep it more from a technical view. So I'll talk about the practical, pragmatic aspects of machine learning. And to keep it simple, basically, it's a technology which helps you to learn from historical data about the exceptions which happened in your processes, with the purpose to predict what is going to happen and support your specific steps and eventually, of course, automate things. So what are examples? No? I like to always talk about examples. So in S4, there are different machine learning scenarios already available to do various predictions, predicting end of contract, predicting what will happen to your deliveries and so on. Many examples for that. We will show some later. Then financial account reconciliation, to me, that's also a very nice example. So you have invoices, you have incoming payments, and you want to match them. You can do that manually, or you can rely on machine learning, which can do big amount of the job in an automated way. Business entity recognition is a complicated name for something like a recognition of a document. No, maybe you get emails, you get PDF attachments, and in that PDF there is some business data. And how can that business data be recognized by a machine? No? Documents can be classified in different categories, and there are many, many more scenarios which are available out of box. So that's the point, that's the emphasis I would like to make, that you don't have to become a machine learning expert, which is, most organizations don't have these skills, because this technology is embedded, so you can just simply use it without really being a machine learning expert. So in the end, you can make quicker decisions, you can reach better results thanks to, there are areas where machine learning is already able to perform better than any human. The technology goes very far in the area of artificial intelligence. Then in the end, of course, based on this, you can automate your processes further, and you will even make less mistakes because, humans make less mistakes in an automated way than we humans. All right, so to illustrate that, let me roll a little video which gives a very concrete example, one of the many examples we have in S4.
This solution leverages machine learning capabilities to drive the intelligent enterprise. Many companies which deal with large amount of purchase orders are familiar with the following exception handling process. As part of their monthly, quarterly or yearly closing activities, accountants have to check the GRIR accounts and have to make sure these balance out on the purchase order line item level. There are many reasons causing discrepancies between the goods receipt and the invoice receipt. For instance, we could have goods receipt with quantities deviating from the corresponding invoice receipt. To resolve the exception, the accountant needs to collaborate with the different stakeholders, such as accounting, buying center, logistics, and the supplier. This used to be a very time-consuming activity. The accountant had to manually gather the information from different transactions, merge them into a spreadsheet, and then manually contact the different stakeholders. With SAP S4HANA 1809, we deliver the new GRIR reconciliation solution, which leverages machine learning capabilities to address this challenge. Goods and invoice receipts run into the rule-based clearing. If they match, everything is fine. In case the rule-based execution cannot finalize the clearing, the intelligent recommendation engine starts to run. Based on historical decision, it provides a recommendation how to proceed. In combination with specifically tailored business analytics and proactive user assistance, the employee can efficiently clear the account. Let's have a look at the three key elements of the SAP S4HANA for goods and invoice receipt reconciliation. The first element are the analytical capabilities. The user has all the relevant information in a single screen and can see the status of the accounts. Furthermore, he or she can drill down into the details and identify the root cause of the problem. Smart filters help to focus the attention of the user to the most relevant deviations. The second important element of the application are the embedded collaboration features. The accountant can directly involve other stakeholders into the discussions, chat with them, or forward the objects for review. Thirdly, the solution leverages machine learning to give intelligent recommendations to help automating the process. Let's conclude with regards to the business benefits of the SAP S4HANA for goods receipt and invoice receipts. Intelligent recommendations simplify and accelerate the reconciliation process. Machine learning helps to automate accountants' decisions. Fewer human interactions reduce the effort for non-value adding activities. Overall, you can achieve a faster period end closing with higher accuracy.
Wow, thanks, Thomas. I see indeed a lot of our customers are benefiting from the machine learning capabilities. But actually what I want to highlight now is something which is really close to my heart, and you already introduced it well, and that is situation handling. That's really the exception-driven organization that we aim to be. So you need to see this as a following example. And so currently you really need to find issues, you need to look for it, and you hope that you are able to find them all. But now with SAP S4HANA, we have situation handling there to support you. So you can lean back. You have your notifications giving insights saying from, oh, dear Rob, be careful, we have a contract which is about to expire. Oh, Rob, be careful, we have certain confirmation which we are delayed. Our production line will not produce our goods in time anymore. So that is excellent that you are getting notified so that you can wake up and really take action upon it. But the cool thing is when you're getting notified, it's not only getting the alert, but it's directly giving you insight from, okay, what is actually going on? But it's also giving you options, giving you alternatives. Okay, how can you actually tackle this so that your business can run as smoothly as possible? And so for this, we have actually quite a cool example, which I want to show you now. It's actually for the situation from, okay, goods are actually, when a supplier cannot deliver in full. And so as a result, you are not able to produce in full according to your MRP planning. And so let us see how SAP can help you in these kind of situations.
Let me show you how SAP S4HANA helps buyers deal with a business situation in which a supplier has informed us that they cannot deliver everything on time. Users get informed about these kind of not-so-common business situations via notifications. As you can see, I already have quite a few notifications. Let's look at this one here, where we see that this supplier cannot deliver everything on February the 14th. Clicking on the notification takes me to this app, which explains the situation, gives me relevant contextual information, as well as giving me a recommendation on how to deal with it, in this case by proposing alternative suppliers. The confirmation overview shows that 50 each are in deficit, with 7 days left to deliver them. Here we see the supplier contact data, and here you see the alternative suppliers that have been proposed. To resolve the situation, simply select one of the suppliers and create a purchase order. As simple as that. There's one more thing I'd like to show you. If you want to look at all the details for the purchase order item, you can simply switch off the situation detail view and look at the normal object page representation. Switching the detail view back on again takes you back to the situation description. So to wrap up, the SAP Fiori Situations approach helps users get their work done more easily by notifying them of business situations needing their attention, explaining the situation, and helping them deal with them easily.
So for an end user, it's actually quite easy to subscribe to these kind of situations. And you can also, from an administration point of view, you can really give this situation to certain departments so that everybody is notified at a certain time. So all in all, organizations are becoming much more exception driven. Thomas, what else do we have in store?
Indeed, we have a few more things. So the next one, which is very interesting, it's called robotic process automation. And I think the topic is maybe not new for everyone, because to be honest, RPA has been around for a long time now. What is new, of course, is that SAP now offers RPA, they call it the Intelligent Robotic Process Automation. So it is integrated in SAP. It has good access to the SAP systems, and SAP even provides content which is freely available. So we will talk about that. That makes it SAP really a different player than actually, to be honest, many other RPA players on the market. But okay, what is RPA? RPA is a tool which can help you to automate repetitive, tedious processes. So maybe you remember the introduction of Rob. That's actually the whole idea of all these intelligent technologies, to free up people from boring, repetitive tasks so that they can focus on more highly added value tasks. Now, about RPA, of course, there are two types. There are unattended and attended robots, where attended means that, there is still a user interacting and launching the automation, and attended that it runs in the background and the users don't even have to really interact with it directly. So a nice example of unattended, where the users don't have to interact directly, could be that you get some emails. In the emails, you have purchase orders, and all that information is automatically taken out from your email and processed in S4. So you don't even touch anything, and then it's working in the background. Attended scenario, which is also very common, for example, in a call center setup, that while you are in contact with the customer, you launch some steps in your system which are done automatically, so that you can pay more attention to the customer, have a better conversation, talk about the real pain points, and the repetitive tasks are just quickly done by the bot. Now, this is again something which is maybe easier to understand by actually seeing a concrete example. So now let me show you a little video, a nice example of this. A really simple one. I selected a really simple one just to see how it works. And then, of course, you can imagine that the technique can be applied from finance to logistics to sales, and in any area. So let's look at it.
Paul is a category manager. He works in the retail industry. He manages thousands of products and has got to update his assortment at least twice a year. This work is not so hard, but tedious and repetitive. Yes, thanks to intelligent robotic process automation, Paul is able to automate his tasks even with high volumes. All the products to be created are stored in an Excel file, many columns, and the last one indicating status. The automation is launched by Paul, but could be also scheduled to be launched automatically. Actually, we can imagine that instead of realizing this process twice a year, Paul could do that more often, as soon as got a new list of products coming from a provider. Only a few seconds to create a product. The bot is navigating through the different screens. Same work for all the products. And at the end, we can see that the status have been updated. In this case, all the products are created.
So, as you saw, these bots can do really interesting time savings, no, for the users. But the question is how you launch these products. There are different ways, but there is a very common way, which is to use a chatbot. And then from a chatbot, from the interaction in a chatbot, you launch such an automation. So that's our next topic. So Rob, could you please tell us more about chatbots?
But of course, Thomas, and thank you. Indeed, the RPA is well adopted nowadays. So the technology is there, it's easy to consume, but there is actually more, and that's the conversational AI. I would actually say it's kind of a more than a chat box. It's really simplifying the way that you're doing your business. And so the examples which I want to use here is, for instance, you see here an example of an iPhone where I have my conversational AI, and in a traditional world, your manager comes along and he asks for a certain situation. Dear Rob, can you find this? And you need to look for transactions and details, and you find it in the end. But you can also use it in a more simplified manner. You just use the conversational AI. You have your speech on your iPhone and you say to your conversational AI, please retrieve me all the non-confirmed POs. So in a natural language way, you talk to your chat box and bam, what does the system do? But it gives me all the records according to my question. So that is really easy. It's simple. It's a different way of doing your business. And that is what we aim to do. And there are many examples how you can actually achieve such a conversation with your actually bot. It's a bot with a conversation with a bot, but it's also a conversation, by the way, with your colleagues. So how can you achieve this? Well, actually, it's really simple. It's a low-code platform. It's integrated with our extension suite. And you're actually, with limited effort, you're actually up and running. Following, it's also using actually the natural language. So using the language, can you find me this? Help me with retrieving that. By the way, who's the contact person for this order? And you get a result according to what you have low-coded. So as mentioned, it's an easy to use user interface for both developers and non-developers. So everybody should be able to do this. So let me give you an example on this one. So it's also easy example. Find me something and let's see how the system behaves. If I press play, of course.
Hey, I believe that you understand that I made a little mistake preparing this webinar shortcuts. So as you can see, this is not the right video. I will share my screen with the good one. This is a good moment to ask you questions to our expert. Sorry for that. I try to share the video right now, or maybe I will share it with you right after.
Okay, for me. So you see what's happening here. Just a simple question. You get a suggestion from the system, and from here you can actually jump to the information you're actually looking for and take action as a following step. Simplify the way that you run your business. Thomas, what else can we offer?
The last topic we would like to touch on today is Internet of Things. Internet of Things, to be honest, I mean, we have been talking about for years, Internet of Things. No, the idea that the idea is simple. No, the idea is that you have some physical equipment, some physical devices, maybe in your logistics, maybe in your production, and you want to measure the behavior, the performance of these items. So maybe for predictive maintenance, maybe for track and trace. No, we all heard of these ideas. Of course, you need some sensors. No, the sensors measure the different physical aspects, things like temperature, motion, humidity, light, so on, so on. Then you collect a lot of data, a lot more than in normal business transactions. So we have to provide a solution to store that data and to process that data. That's what SAP Internet of Things does. And then from all this data, you can get some new insights, and you can get some decisions and automated decisions. Now, as I said, the idea has been around for years, and many people talk about it, and very few actually do something with it. Why? Because, this is also a complex topic. But now SAP makes it a lot more available by having it standard part available in S4. So S4 is built in a way that it caters for this Internet of Things solution. So let me give you an example. This time not a video, because this is a lot of physical things. So there is a limit to what we can do with video. So I will rather give a little explanation here. So the upper part, what you see there, that's happening in S4, and the rest is happening in the IoT service in SAP. So in S4, you create a new outbound delivery, and what IoT will do, it will help you to get insight into this delivery throughout the process. So there is a virtual representation, which is created on the IoT side. You don't have to worry about it. No, that's happening there. Then there are some automatic assignments already happening. So, the physical and the digital has to be connected. And then you define on some conditions, and these conditions are monitored. So it could be that the temperature of the product or the light or whatever is relevant for the given scenario. You can define these thresholds, or even in a more advanced scenario, you can let machine learning to do this. But okay, that's already how we can combine the different technologies, what we are describing today. So imagine something happened. No, there is, let's say, temperature is too high, so your products are at risk. Then a new situation is triggered. Now, Rob already explained how situation handling works, so that's exactly what is happening here. So as a user, you get notified that something is wrong, so your delivery is at risk. Optionally, we can also send an email or any other way of contacting business partners. And now the notification is displayed, as we saw in the situation handling, and then you can act, you can make decisions and trigger follow-up activities. So maybe you say that, okay, this delivery is not going to arrive in time, so I have to contact another business partner, for example, as a possible solution. So, I mean, I think what you saw here is we already started to combine different intelligence technologies, but Rob, I think you have an even nicer example of how we can combine all of these things. And that's actually the power of S4. No, it's not one or the other thing, it's the combination.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. And by the way, And before I'm going to talk with this end-to-end process, I want to highlight, I love your example. It's actually really actively used within our actually install-based customers. They're really enjoying the fact that they could track everything and they're just getting notified just on their mobile, hey, what's actually happening with my orders? And so that in the end, they're going to improve actually the customer relationship because their goods are getting in time delivered with the right quality. So let's talk about now the end-to-end process of, for instance, operational procurement, but it could be any end-to-end process. So here we want to have the example where a guy needs to have some IT equipment. And so he has certain requirements. So what can he do? He can actually make use, based on image recognition, take his laptop is, for instance, broken. He takes a picture of this laptop and he sees actually what's in the available catalog, what he can order. And so image recognition is helping to speed up that buying process. And so the request is then actually created based on the search results. And as a result, the approver gets a nice email notification in his inbox saying you need to do certain things, approve this laptop request. But because a lot of people are actually ordering this laptop and it is within the limits of the organization, the system actually gives a proposal to help the manager to say, well, you're likely gonna improve this because you have done this the previous 10 times also. And so machine learning gives actually a suggestion to the manager, it's okay to approve. So following this, once it's created, we can actually have things auto-created so that you have your PO, which is infused with the Internet of Things technologies. So once the goods are about to be delivered, you can then get actually notifications whether the goods are actually going to be delivered in time. And that could be based on past behavior of the supplier that is delivering late in the past, or because of we didn't get a confirmation yet from the supplier that he's going to deliver the goods in time, that you're going to get some kind of a notification from heads up, something is wrong. And so that you have a whole list of what's happening in terms of predictive delivery delay. Right, so let us continue. And so as in the example of Thomas, we can actually track everything in terms of the IoT perspective, how your goods are going to be delivered. And so it's not only the outbound side towards your customer, you can do this also from an inbound side. And finally, from a situation point of view, especially from IT equipment, you are not always, you're not a logistical employee, so you forgot to do the goods receipt. Well, in this case, you get a notification from, hey, Rob, you need to do your administration. Can you please do actually goods receipt on your situation handling, and you use your conversational AI and you say, yes, a laptop received. Easy, simple process, fully infused with technology, simplifying your business life. So it's, as mentioned, not only relevant for procurement, but it's obviously also from other line of businesses, also from sales, from strategic buying perspective, from finance, and we are here to support you every end of the way. So to summarize, and what does it actually mean, all this intelligence? Well, it means that first of all, that you have the ability to make quicker decisions. You will make better decisions. And it will also help you to reduce costs. So in fact, you will empower your employees and you will improve your customer experience. I think that's really important to remember what that actually means. So let me repeat, empower employees and improve customer experience. Good. Let's then talk about the next stage of the process, because I hope you're getting a bit curious now. And so you want to see, how do I actually get there? So perhaps, Thomas, you can guide our dear audience from what's the next steps for them.
Yeah, indeed. I think this is a very important question to ask, because I think when I talk to customers, they see this intelligence technology, then they see, wow, this is really good. No, I mean, it's a lot of potential there, certainly. But okay, how do we get there? No, we are very far from all these intelligent technologies at the moment. So this is exactly what I would like to explain in this chapter, and we try to describe it in very simple steps. So Well, I mean, we are talking about intelligent technologies in S/4HANA, so not too surprisingly, you need to be in S/4HANA. No? So I know many of customers are already there. That means that step is already done. If not, then we will talk about that as well. No? So it starts with going to S/4HANA. Then for many scenarios, not all, but for many, I will explain in detail, you will need what we call BTP. So that stands for SAP Business Technology Platform. Again, I will go through this in a little bit in a moment. And so this is a technology platform. So S4 has, let's say, the best practices. The BTP as the technology platform has the technical services, and these technical services you can use in combination with S4. Then, very important thing is that SAP provides standard content. So because, okay, one thing is to have some technologies, and then it's still up to you to develop solutions based on that. But no, here you get standard content, so you can start from using them, and then there is no development effort at all. Or you can, and that's the next step, you can enhance them. Because maybe you say, okay, it's nice, the example from SAP, but can we add some specifics? You can do that. And of course, you can go as far as even develop something completely new. So that would maybe even be step 5. So let's go one by one. Going to S4HANA. So, I mean, that could be a whole presentation. And to be honest, we have done many of these. So maybe I recommend it to look at the other recorded webinars. But there is something really interesting in this aspect, which I would like to point out. Only this, as I said, we could talk about many things, but okay, just one thing to point out, that we have a new solution which we can offer. This is the only solution in the world which is able to do the conversion to S4HANA in an automated way. So that's really a big thing. I mean, today we are talking about intelligent things. This is also a very intelligent thing. It automates your complete conversion from ECC to S4HANA. And it automates the project. So the project is done, of course, in a shorter time, in a smaller budget. And of course, risks are reduced with this way. Now, I think you already see from all these technologies that when things are automated, then there are less manual failures, obviously. Very interesting aspect is the custom code, no? Because everybody has the custom code, and that is, of course, always a challenge. No, what's the effort to bring that custom code to S4? Now, this solution can automate even the adjustment of the custom code. It takes 95 to 98% of that automatically. That means there is like 2 to 5% left for manual work for developers. But then, of course, it's much less than doing everything manually, which is, let's say, the normal way nowadays. Now, another aspect of your journey, of course, we will touch a little bit on this, is of course the question, what is going to be your to-be architecture? Are you going to be in some kind of a cloud, public cloud, or what kind of cloud? Are you going to use the SAP RISE? We will talk about that. Or on-premise, that's still an option, each time less popular, but it's still there. So regardless of your choice, this automated conversion is available as an option. It can also do yearly upgrades. So the solution not only takes you to S4, but also makes sure that you stay on top of S4 by benefiting from the yearly upgrades in the years ahead. All right, so we talked about the first step, which is to get to S4 if you are not an S4 already. And then we said that the next step is to make use of the business technology platform. But why do you really need this business technology platform? Now, and for these 5 technologies, which Rob and I cover today, this slide explains what is the role of BTP. Now, for machine learning, some parts of machine learning is directly embedded in S4HANA, but there are many additional technical and functional services which are on BTP and additional logic. So, you know, if you want to do some more advanced machine learning, then you can benefit from the services which are on BTP. Situation handling, I mentioned I really like that solution, and I think Rob, you also mentioned that is one of your favorites. Now here you see.
It absolutely is, Thomas.
Yeah. And so even good news here that for that you don't need BTP at all. It's all in S4 completely. When it comes to RPA, then there are a lot of things on the business technology platform. There is a bot store, so where all these bots which SAP provides as part of the service are there, and just like in an app store, like in a store, you can just simply download them and run them. Then there is the studio, which is there to build the new ones or just the standard ones. Then there is a whole management layer around it, how you monitor, control, and so on your bots. And eventually you have some agents to run the bots. So all that is in this RPA service from the business technology platform. For the chatbots, actually it's completely on RPA, so all the development and the runtime and even the integration with S4 and maybe other things are provided by the BTP. And in case of IoT, that's also, I mentioned that you collect a lot of data, so that collection piece is on IT, but then you have to store it. We talk about digital twins, how you create a virtual representation of your physical objects. We talked about thresholds, events, rules, all that you set up here on this platform. So overall, it is actually a really key component of your landscape. I mentioned some of these services, but there are actually many services. So once you are using the business technology platform, then I recommend to look into what is called the SAP Discovery Center. If you Google it, this is the first one you find immediately. It's simply a public website where you can explore all the services, read the description, find out how to use them, in which scenarios are they applicable, even pricing is there. So I said public, but of course you need an SAP user to access all this data.
Yeah, but still, it's something that I really recommend to do. It will really inspire you from our guys. How can we do things differently? Yeah, so it's an open platform, and request your S user, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, I believe our audience in this webinar already has the S user, so it's really just directly visit it today. It's really the best source of information about the business technology platform. Now, so okay, we have the platform, and then as I mentioned, it's not only a platform but also content. So I give you these two examples here about situation handling and RPA. So there are 94 or 81 scenarios available for you to use. So it's a whole process implementation with the description, implementation guides, test scenarios, all that is available. I put here some examples which I see at customers which are interesting. Good receipt, invoice receipt. Now that's the scenario which you described, to matching of these two items. Now, for example, quantity deficit in suppliers delivery. That's the one we touched also today. Okay. There are many ones. Here again, the same applies. It's available on the SAP website, so you can read about them. You can download them. You can run them. If you don't like them, then you can enhance them.
So Thomas, let me give you a secret, and that's always good when we talk about continuous innovation. So you say RPA, we have 81 scenarios. Well, I'm just looking at the store real time, and I see that we have actually 256 at the moment. So that is actually the power of working in real time, where you can benefit from the continuous innovation.
Very good point. Very good. So I put here 81 because here we are talking about the RPA is specific for S4, but as you point out, there are many more. So now, of course, today we are talking about S4, but RPA can be used in combination with other things as well. And the number is growing anyway, so maybe it's not even 81. I think it's growing each week. All right. Then this is a very busy slide, and there is a lot to talk about this topic as well. So I hope you already heard about it. In January, SAP announced something very big, Rise with SAP program to help customers in this whole business transformation journey. So today we touched on specific intelligent technologies, but of course, to apply those, there is a whole journey. And it's not just about technology, it's really a business transformation. And SAP created this offering which kind of packages all the components which are needed for customers to go on this journey. So there are things which are obviously very important. You see on the left, SAP S4HANA, whether public or private. That's obviously the core. There are also some tools and services. There is the whole topic of business process intelligence, which is to do some process mining and discovery of your processes, see where are the weaknesses, where are opportunities in comparison with your peers, and then advise you to do the improvement. There is
it's also improving and giving you insights on what kind of technologies you could actually use to automate your processes. Sorry, continue, Thomas.
Yeah, no, excellent point. So it analyzes your processes, and that will even give you concrete advice to the things which we mentioned today. So it will center like, oh, you have this process is not really on par comparing to your peers. So why don't you use this RPA, or why don't you use that IoT scenario? No, so it's something very.
I get a lot of positive feedback here also. It's because it's really easy to consume this process insight or business process intelligence, and it opens for a lot of customers their eyes from the potential and where they are in at least compared to their peers.
Yeah, and there is some business networks, what you see in the lower right side. But why I actually put this slide here is the area which is framed here. The business technology platform, because we were just telling you that actually for these intelligence technologies you need BTP as well next to S4, and the good news is that in this RISE offering it's packaged together, it's part of it, so you get some credits to get started on the BTP as not only on S4. So you can look at those intelligence technologies which we cover today, and then you can decide where you would like to start. Obviously, probably not all of them at the same time. No, you decide on where to start, and you can get started with these credits, which are now part of the RISE package.
Exactly. It's like going to the car store. You want to have a bit of a test drive. You need to have a bit of mileage before you actually know, okay, this is what I really want. So it's there, it's available to use.
Indeed. And well, with that, we reach the end of our story, and of course, ready for Q&A.
Oh, yeah, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Thomas. Rob, what a pleasure to listening to you and to see the power of the combination about the editor and the partners. This is how we serve the best your business and challenges. So this is the moment for Q&A sessions. We will jump in the live sessions for you. See you there, dear participants. We are here for you and answer all your questions.
Super. Thanks a lot, Thomas. Thanks a lot, Rob, for this nice presentation. Let me share with you the three last slides that we prepared to you. Dear participants, I hope that you enjoyed these presentations and it suits your expectation. Once again, sorry for the little the video that couldn't pass for the third video. I will share with you a nice replay with the full contents. Don't worry about that. Okay. So Thomas, Rob, let's jump on the Q&A station. Dear participants, do not hesitate to ask your questions directly in the chat. As I can see, Elise, one question from you: is there a way to try this technology?
Yeah, so there is something relatively new, which is there are two things actually. So there is one thing which is a new pricing model from SAP called pay-as-you-go, which means that you actually don't have to put a lot of money and investment upfront on the table, but you can start using business technology platform services, and then you pay as you use them. But there is something even better, which is like a free model. So to some of these services can be used and can be tried in a free way, and then you can have the chance to build some experience with them, and then become eventually, of course, for a productive scenario, you will need to pay the licenses, and that's true for the items which I mentioned in the chat, which actually require business technology platform services. But for example, the things which are directly available in the S4 license, then the only thing you need is an S4 system. And okay, if you don't have an S4 system yet, there are also ways to get access to a trial system where you can play with these things.
Thanks, Thomas. I'm just
Yes,
adding to the story. First of all, sorry, dear audience, my video is not working. I know I'm going to at least give Pierre and Thomas a beer, and I'm hoping to do that also to you once. To come
and telling me you missed something, because Rob is really good looking.
But also coming back to the question from Elise, which Thomas already replied nicely, and the end story where we have the offering with RISE with SAP here also, and you have that starting pack, so that you also can consume an X amount of actually technologies over time, so that you can really try things out. It's like buying a car, and that's something that we understand. You want to have your test drive, and so that's something we can offer you.
Thanks for your answer, Rob. Thomas. So maybe I don't see more questions right now in the chat. We've got a few more minutes left. Could you maybe just comment the answer of survey? I think that it's interesting to see that most of participants from this webinar are not using S4HANA yet. Okay, so I think that it's interesting information, but also the way that there is a combination of answers regarding which technology is the most interesting for the company. So it's really nice to see that regarding the fact that most of these things are covered, I would say, by the technology, isn't it?
Yeah, and interesting. So indeed, the several things got vote. It's kind of spread. And interestingly, situation handling didn't get vote, which I'm surprised.
I object. I think we should have raised the questionnaire a bit in an open-minded way so that you could select multiple things. So I'm sure this is just their top priority, perhaps.
That's true. That's true. So indeed, we put it sharp, like which is the most interesting. And yeah, well, okay.
But do not hesitate, dear participant, to share with you in the chat or by mail how you feel with these questions. So concretely, if there is anything that you like, Thomas, Rob, on this topic, is any additional comments that you will share with the participant before we close the session?
Well, what I would like to say that please don't hesitate to contact us. No, Rob, us, we work very closely, of course, as SAP and SOA People on this topic and any other topics, because to me, the last question, which is indicates like, do you have ideas? There, most people are not sure, and that's normal. So, of course, you know, a 30 minutes webinar or it was a 1 hour webinar, even that is not enough. No, so feel free to contact us. We can give you live demos, go much deeper, and also to help you to explore these opportunities where these technologies can be used. No, because now we could give a couple of examples, but of course you need to put some effort, and we can guide you with that to find your scenarios.
Exactly.
Thank you, Thomas. Rob?
So please make use of indeed the QR codes which are presented in front of you so that you can reach out to us. And I'm for sure always open for a dialogue. So looking forward to that conversation.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Thomas, for this precious, valuable presentation that you shared with us today. Dear participants, you understand that we are SOA People and SAP, the trusted partner on this topic. We are here to help you, one, your challenges. So do not hesitate to get in contact with us. So as you can see, the sun always shines on SAP and SOA People World. I'm in Lille for a nice event for the SAP users community. So wish you all the best from France. See you, Thomas. See you, Rob. Wish you all the best, dear participants, and hope to hear from you soon.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.